You're tuned into the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. Carla shoots straight from the hip with what's hot and what's not in the box office, the latest film news, and talent from above and below the line. Are you ready? Then let's get into it with your girl right now. This is the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata.
I want to talk a little bit about two things. The fact that you have a different animation style here, Munirah, than I normally see in animation. And I wanted to know why you settled on that particular animation style. And secondly, I wanted to, it made me laugh so loud when you called out the millennials for them being more involved in their social media presence and how many followers they have than getting out and voting. And you would be in that millennial age. So I'm just wondering why you were like, look, I'm calling y'all out. I'm one of y'all, but I'm gonna call y'all out anyway.
Yeah, that was it. It was just like, holding up a mirror. I just want to be clear. We do have apathetic voters that, that range over, age groups, but it's really important that my age group and younger get some tough love, because we're not doing everything that we can do to make sure our voices are heard and to make sure that we are agents of change. So I figure I'm one person that they might listen to. If they like my other Juntland stuff, then maybe I can sneak in some medicine and, with these spoonfuls of sugar that I've done with Sincerely Camille. And as far as the animation style, it was just the same style that I've, done with Juntland. And that was what attracted on to me, was the style and my tone and my voice. So, we just stuck with that. So it was working. So don't fix it, but don't break it. It was working, basically.
I just want to jump in and say the originality of her style is really something that drew us to her. When you think about a lot of the popular, well-known animation that's out there, they kind of can fall into a couple of buckets. And it was important to us because we were doing something new for Black women, and there's really never been an animated series directed to Black women like this before, storytelling. It really lent itself that her style was unique, and people who love animation are kind of like, wow, this kind of style I haven't really seen before. We're getting that feedback and hearing it, and they're liking it.
Because there's that one episode called This Land Was Made for Drew and Lee. And there's that whole different spin where there's a conversation between the Black woman and the white man where he takes that joke just one step too far. And I love how you incorporated that in the process of this whole voting discussion, because it's a real conversation. What was the impetus to bring that into the forefront as well?
Well, I think most Black women have experienced, microaggressions in the workplace. And I will just say, after the last election, literally the day after the election, it was palpable in my workplace. And so I never forgot it. I never forgot things that I would hear from my colleagues and from my supervisors. And that affects the way that we move, throughout our lives. Too often Black women are interrupted and just all kinds of stuff, whether it's the workplace or our home life or whatever. And so it was important that I present Camille, as a full woman. We wanted to go into the workplace, and we wanted to have her have a conversation with someone there. And I wanted to get a white man's perspective, and I pulled from my own experiences to create that man. So that's basically how I did that. It was important that we do it. So
I appreciated it. I really did, because everything else pretty much dealt with the ladies and their shenanigans, but there was that one episode that dealt with that. And I was like, oh, okay, Munirah, you a deep doll. Okay, thank you for that.
And it was bite-sized. I had to get it in a bite-sized episode. But like I said, we could go so much longer, and we could have so many more episodes, but we had to get it done quickly. So
I need for you to do a follow-up episode on that one, though. I just want to see how that whole relationship kind of plays out. Don't you think so, Tina?
Yes, I do. And I want to say that, we have a pretty mixed workforce at OWN, which is one of the great things about the company. And it was interesting how so many people loved that episode. Didn't matter actually who you were, your background, what age you were, your race. Like, people were cracking up all across the network watching that episode because, and I think what people appreciate is that Munirah brought into this series, these suite of animated shorts, a lot of her personal life experiences. And because they respected and related and understood the creator she is and how important that she import that in, it was so well received, not just within the company, but also even outside in the way you're describing. So I'm glad you picked that up because that's a great episode. She had a lot of people laughing with that one.
My pleasure. Thanks, ladies. To keep up with the Curvy Critic, like our page here, click that subscribe button, and click that bell for notifications. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.